In this video, I'm going to talk about how I cured my depression by going out and having conversations with strangers. So back in November of 2018, I was really struggling with depression. And at that time, I even had thoughts of wanting to die and just really having a hard time in life. It was easier for me to get lost in my own negative self-views. And I thought, for me, I feel like my depression was caused by loneliness. And then I thought, okay, it's like, well, I can make a sign and I could put something on the sign that maybe leads to connection or having conversations with people. So then I went out in public, went to a park that was really crowded where I live. And on that sign, so I did do other signs first, but on that sign, I eventually put, I desire conversation, will you talk with me? And when I did that sign, so many people started to have conversations with me and stopped and talked with me. Now, eventually the sign morphed into I desire a conversation, something even shorter. But for the last 7 years, I've had thousands of conversations now with strangers. I met my girlfriend doing it, yes, with the I desire conversation sign just out in a public park. I met her. I met some of my closer friends now in life. And now I'm not lonely anymore. And currently, for the last 342 days in a row, I have gone down to this same park with the I desire conversation sign and have met people, and my life has completely changed. And my depression now is cured. Like I said, I'm not lonely anymore, but I got so many benefits from going out and talking with people on a regular basis. For example, when I first started before the current 342-day streak that I'm on, I remember I was really struggling with brain fog. And my attention span was really shot. Like it was really easy to get distracted and whatnot. And now having conversations every day, like I don't have the brain fog as much anymore. My attention span is now growing. Like it's easier to focus in a conversation. I'm able to listen better. I've also improved my social skills. Like it's much easier now to go deeper in conversation with people. I've also found it easier to be more vulnerable. Also, too, I found it easier now to disagree with people. Yes, I've become more exposed to having disagreements and not getting so triggered where I'm taking those disagreements personally. So I've been more desensitized to the feelings and things that I get around conflict. And that's been really healthy and helpful in having better relationships and conversations. In fact, I feel like practicing conversations every day with strangers that I've actually expedited my emotional process. So when harder things come up in life, it's just way easier to process. But that's just one of the benefits of having conversations with strangers. And so that's why it's like, I feel like I've gotten so much from all that. And in the process, it's like I said, I'm not lonely anymore. I met my girlfriend through doing this practice and so many friends that it's really just cured my depression. And it's just so profound. Some of the best conversations I've ever had in life have just come from going to the local park and just meeting people. And it's crazy, just using a sign. Something that I like about using the sign that I use, I desire conversation, is it empowered people to come up and talk with me. So in a way, it actually took the approach out, which I do think it can be good to approach people. But when the approach was taken out, the people that would come up and talk to me, they were 100% committed, already consenting to, I want to talk to this guy with the sign. So in a way, when we started that conversation, I didn't have to dig myself out of a pit to build trust with the person because they already wanted to talk with me after seeing my sign. So in a way, it empowered people to approach me. And that made it so much easier to have conversations because in the beginning, when I was depressed, it was much easier to just really be challenged in going out and meeting people. So to expect myself to go up and approach people, I feel like would be way, way harder if I'm depressed. But if I'm depressed, having the I desire conversation sign, it just made it really easy. I could just sit on a bench by a path where people walk, and then people would come up and start talking with me. And it just was way easier to meet people. Now, of course, not all the conversations went that well, and that's okay because I was also exposed to rejection in a much more healthy way. And in that exposure, I got desensitized to rejection. Now, rejection just is not that big of a deal to me. And now my mindset is I focus on the people that actually want to have conversations with me. And then from there, I can then start to build more deeper relationships. And also, when I would go to the same park, I'd also see the same people day in, day out. And over time, I would really get to know these people because I would constantly see them. And then I found that is a great way to meet people. Instead of that idea of, oh, I only have one day to go to this place and I'm going to try to meet someone and ask for their number and do all this. I found that, people are a little bit more reluctant. But if I do it over time, like maybe the first interaction is, hey, hello, and a smile, and then how are you doing? Well, the second one, it goes a little deeper. The third goes a little deeper. The fourth, and so on. And then all of a sudden we've had like 10 interactions. And then it becomes so much easier to be like, hey, I got this thing going on Saturday. Are you interested in coming? And I feel like the response to that person, getting together, it's just much more smooth. And so I found that as also a unique benefit of going out and just trying to meet people every day in the same spot, is just building that rapport with the regulars in the community that visit that spot. And so coming back full circle now, this idea of curing my depression through talking with strangers, I just feel like it's helped me so much. Not just depression, but just anxiety in general. And it's also restored my faith in humanity. This idea that, oh, wow, like I could just go someplace, have this I desire conversation sign, and people will actually come up and have conversations with me. And it's just like, wow, it's like, it doesn't have to be this idea of nobody wants to talk to me, this story that I create that it's like I'm this horrible person or people don't desire me or, whatever, but that's totally not true. And in fact, the age groups of people that would talk to me were basically all ages would come up and have conversations with me. Also, all genders, people would talk to me. Also, foreigners, people from like out of the country would also come up and talk to me. And really, there was no demographic. Which I thought was really cool too, because I think it's easy to think, oh, like some really attractive woman, younger woman who's, she's not going to want to talk to me, but even younger attractive women came up and talked to me, which I was just kind of blown away. I was like, okay, well, this is really interesting. And so, but yeah, I just want to put it out there that this has impacted my life so much. And if everybody really got the results of what I got from doing this over the last 7 years, meeting thousands of people, everybody would be going out with a sign and trying to meet people because it is so profound. And I've learned so much about relationships and just getting better. That's something I try to operate through that lens of how can I be better at conversations? How can I be better in relationships? And I've just gotten so better at observing myself in conversations and in relationships in general. And so there you have it. Like I said, going out, meeting people, and curing my depression by just talking with strangers.